Well, good morning, guys. It's 52 degrees out this morning. Let's go side dress some more corn. Gorgeous river this morning. Boy, I love being outside. I remember commuting to the cities every morning, seeing that type of sunrise and think, oh crap, now I have to be down in the concrete jungle, as some people refer to big cities. And now my commute is here, and the closer I get to the job site, the less asphalt, the more trees, and the more land there is. Oh, I hope I can make this work. But the only way that it's going to make it work is by getting corn fertilized today. Well, here we are. We're at the old office. The old office. Let's get fired up and get fertilizing. Turn on my office computer. Get my phone plugged in, get my desk and chair there. I gotta clean my desk off a little bit. A couple water bottles up there and some sprayer parts. I can organize the desk later. Oh, the corn here is looking really good. There's an absolute mud hole right there. You can see how I just devastated that. There's some ruts in there. I left. There are spots that the soil structure hasn't quite set up like the other fields, either because we chased them this spring with the cultivator. On this field, we did a lot of chasing with the cultivator because of the lime spreader left them ruts. And I can tell the difference. You can definitely tell the difference. When you get to them spots, the tractor sinks and squirrels a little bit. But no, the corn's looking real good. It's kind of fun after the rain. The corn is just exploding. I think we were dry enough that the other nitrogen got in the soil, but was not quite moving to the plants as fast as the plants needed it. Give that little shot of moisture, and then boom, everything just took off. Now it's getting its second shot. Gosh, this is gonna just be stunningly gorgeous corn. I love it. I have one section shut off because the corn looks okay, but out at the end, that corn looks kind of sad, so I'm just giving it a double shot just to pump it up a little bit there. It's right at the edge of the hill. The other nitrogen might have washed away with the water. Who knows? But it looked a little sad, so we could give it a little extra shot. Well, Mr. Sun is starting to get up there. About time, the lazy guy. Gosh, that's just a beautiful sea of green. Yeah, here's where all his land comes down, jumps the fence line into this ditch here, and it's supposed to go out. Then it's supposed to follow that tree line and hit the county road, and then cut through somebody else's land. But long before we bought the field, it's plugged up here, and that ditch is the one that's plugged up somewhere. It doesn't follow it's not the tree line itself, but somewhere back in the grass is where the ditch cuts across, and that's supposed to drain all them other fields along this way, and it doesn't. And so that's where I'm tempted to plug it up so he can deal with his water, and then I could have a field to go through. But I don't think that's neighborly, but I don't know. I probably wouldn't, but it sure would clean this little spot up. But whatever. Is it just me, or no matter where you finish a field, you always end up at the wrong end. My pickup's a half mile that way, or the other end of the field is that way. It always seems that it does that. Oh well, maybe I can turn around and hit whatever that is. Oh, I know what that is. I shut the sprayer off because them are spots that I was having planter trouble with a switch. It kept shutting the planter off. That's what that is. So yeah, well, I guess at least an extra trip through the corn never hurt, as long as I don't spread any tire blight. Ah. Well guys, it's time to head back in here for a refill. So I pull up here and I'll find a spot to park, and I'll grab my pickup and go grab the trailer and back down here and refill. So I just let the pump idle and fill the trailer. The co-op brought this trailer out. I can use these two tanks as more storage in the yard, so they can just keep trucks coming and going as they see fit. And then I can use this just to bump down the road. I mean, just on the other side of the house, you know, less than a quarter mile from here is where that tractor is sitting. So it works good for that. And yeah, so it's working good. I got a few bugs to work out or improve for next year, but it's going really well. It's going really well. And then we just transfer from the tank to the tank. So pretty simple. I don't know. Not any faster or slower than when I was doing the dry at this part. But when I was doing dry fertilizer, side banding like I was doing 8 rows at a time. You imagine 8 rows turning around, going back in 8 rows, turning around, coming to, holy crap, you mowed the headlands right on down. It was horrible. Now it's 36 rows at a time, and the poor man's Y drops are working good so far. Whoa, we're refilled. Let's wipe out the last 8 acres. And then we'll take the mighty ram and we'll head over and check that next field, because that next field is the France farm. And I don't know how well that soil is going to be set up. That soil is quite its own personality. I better do some walking in that field before I drive this equipment over there. Driving home, I finished fertilizing that field. Driving home now from Mora, from the Farm Service Agency office. I have to report our acres. I don't know if every other state does that. You guys out in Pennsylvania or Iowa and Nebraska and Illinois, I don't know if you guys have to do that. We have to report our acres to stay in the program, and then that's how, then they give me a packet today of all the reported acres, and then I drop that off with my insurance agent. So them acres are how we adjust our year-to-year production history. You can't just make up acres or you know, well, I planted a 40 but I combined a 30, and look at that, I got 170 bushel to the acre, and then the next year you only get 110 bushel to the acre, so then that year you happen to combine a 40, you know. So to keep it honest, you have to report your planted acres, and that's what your harvest is based on. They also have other programs, you know, for if you have unmarketed grain and the markets are absolutely crappy, you can borrow that fall. Over the winter, you can borrow a low interest loan from them for like 9 months so you can pay your winter bills, and then it gives you 9 months to do some good marketing. Yeah, you got to play the game and jump through their hoops if you want their help, and crop insurance to us is extremely helpful. I technically could have done a prevent plant on Gordy's. There's some nice looking corn over here. Boy, our whole area is doing, other than a few bad fields, you know, generally speaking, our area is doing really well this year, and about time. We've had a lot of crap years, but technically I could have used Gordy's fields as prevent plant, but I didn't because it's only a couple acres, and you know, you get a few $100s and la-di-da. At the end of the year, them couple $100s aren't making or breaking me. I'd rather just work on the fields over the summer. So yeah, so now it's hustle my butt back home and get the tractor over to the France field and start side dressing over there. There's another good looking cornfield. So, all right guys, that's enough driving. Guys, I'm a pretty brave soul usually. I'm over on the France farm. This farm has only had a couple months of no-till. This is its first spring of no-till. I'm doing okay. You know, I am not just absolutely falling through, but my gut is telling me let's just avoid this for right now. I can back up a little bit and kind of hook around, and you got a dip here and then a roll, and I don't know if you can see the other little dip right there. Just kind of go up and around, headland it off, and I'll just do that. And in a week, when this little spot cleans up, but so now I can see how the water lays. We need to come in here with a back blade. I don't want to come in here with a plow and create a ditch because we got a good natural swale here. We just need to come in with a back blade and just kind of shave this down a little bit to get rid of these humps holding this water back, and whatever's holding the water back in that ditch, we need to open him up. But this is a great, awesome video. So in 5 years, we can come back to this video and come back to this spot after a big rain event and see how much did we improve. Did we improve? I was talking to Gary, the guy that's farmed it for the last 30 years, and I told him I planted over in here, and he laughed and he says, oh, the bog. So this is some peatier, quote unquote, peatier ground out of this farm. So he kind of chuckled and he says, be careful down there because you can sink real fast. There's other spots where in the field where you can kind of go through the mud, but he says this bottom corner, just don't even mess with it. And I think he's not kidding. I'm just gonna avoid it. But yeah, hey, phase one of a no-till field. Welcome to no-till, Mr. Field, and strip till and whatever. But yeah, let's back up and go around and keep moving. Just thinking about this, with that 45-foot wing out there, you know, even past the edge of the tractor, I still got over 30-some feet. That'll help, you know. I can get surprisingly, we're gonna only end up with a half acre to maybe an acre right here. It's, you know, you got 24 rows right there. You know, that ain't that big of a spot, and if I can kind of boom down into some of the spots, and I'll see, it looks like I can come in from the other side a little bit if I can't kind of run over a little bit of the corn, come across this knob, spin around right inside the corn, then I could pretty much wing out. Boy, I bet I could get 90% of that with a little creativity of driving and taking advantage of that long wing out there. Yeah, let's do it, guys. Sorry I didn't record that, guys. I did not want to record getting stuck because he's not joking. That's some goofy soil, but this spot here is where I came just right around here. So I just circled that little wet spot. I came on the mound here, hugged to the left, went over there, then I kept hugging the perimeter to my left, and I caught right back up to the headland. There's just that little tiny spot. We're well under an acre, yeah, that ain't bad. That ain't bad for year one. All right, enough yammering, let's get going. I don't know how good you can see that first row. I came out, I underestimated the corn a little bit as to how much it would move the hose around. And so I I ended up just using a little bit of tape for my poor man's Y drop, and I'll get some fancier ones, but for now it's working pretty all right. Better angle while I was sitting there, you know. Here, let me zoom out some so the camera's not so whippy. Yeah, I needed to get going today, and I didn't know how I wanted to make some type of PVC structure to hold the hoses and stuff, and I'm just like, oh dang it, you know, I wanted to get going, and so I put some duct tape there and it's working.